Hello friends, just as the prelims examination is over, it is high time to check our keys and jump into our next stage of the preparation towards the mains examination. So towards this, we will have a short discussion on science and technology and environment related questions video discussion. Let's start the business. Second question about Global Climate Change Alliance, which of the following statements is correct? It is an initiative of the European Union, it is a correct statement. And what is the main goal of the Global Climate Change Alliance? It rests on two pillars. The Global Climate Change Alliance, the first pillar is providing dialogue and cooperation from the European Union towards the developing countries to accommodate the climate change policies into the developmental agenda. So the second statement is right. And the third statement is utterly wrong. There is no connection between the World Resources Institute and World Business Council for Sustainable Development. I mentioned about two pillars. This is the first pillar, and the second pillar, that the Global Climate Change Alliance provides technical and financial support to the developing countries on climate change. So the correct answer for this is 1 and 2. Ninth question, biological oxygen demand. It is a simple question which is related to the pollution of the water bodies. When the pollution in the water bodies increases, the amount of organic matter also increases, and when the amount of organic matter increases, it needs more oxygen to decompose them. So what is biological oxygen demand? The amount of oxygen dissolved in the water which is needed for metabolizing the organic matter in the water. The correct answer is pollution assay. Higher the BOD, higher the pollution. So BOD is a value used for pollution assays. C is the correct answer. 23rd question. It is actually a current affairs based question, but not actually a current affairs. It might be called as a world affairs, not current. With respect to lipstick, it came in the Hindu in June 2015. Hindu. Lipstick, it actually came in the news as a kiss of death, which mentioned that not only lipstick, kajal and other everyday household items such as kumkum also contains lead. So the first one is correct. And second, soft drinks and brominated vegetable oils. Soft drinks, it usually contains flavoring agents and coloring agents. These flavoring and coloring agents are usually oil based compounds, and soft drinks are water. So to enable the proper mixing of oil based agents and the water, they use emulsifying agents, and brominated vegetable oil is an emulsifying agent. So it is this brominated vegetable oils which make the soft drinks cloudier. So the second is also correct. And third, I hope friends you all would have guessed, monosodium glutamate is a chemical name for Ajinomoto, the flavor enhancer. So the third is also correct. All the three is the right answer. 24th question, organic light emitting diodes, which is the trend recently in display devices. It is a solid state device which uses a thin layers of organic matter laid between seal, that screen we seen, and substrate. Here we have organic layers. This is the general arrangement of the organic layer. Because the substrate we can use metal foils, plastic. There are considerable advantages of OLED. In addition, the organic layers are very thin, and hence it is also possible to make the OLED into transparent and highly colorative displays. All the three statements are right. Now this picture explains what I have mentioned earlier. Next question, 28th, the application of somatic cell nuclear transfer technology. This looks like a question asked out of the sky, but no. We all knew about 3-parent baby technique. Is basically done using this technology called as somatic cell nuclear transfer technology, which is also the technology used for cloning. 28th, C is the right answer. As the time is very limited, we are skipping to the next answer. 35th, In India, it is legally mandatory for which of the following to report on cyber security? According to IT rules 2013, section 12. Why it recently came in the news? In September of last year, there were very high incidents reported with respect to hacking of credit cards and debit cards of multiple banks. And also recently, there was a hacking attack with the spyware called as WannaCry. It is in this context this question was asked. According to this IT rules 2013 section 12, all these three are legally mandated to report on any cyber security incidents. D is the right answer. 37th question, evolved laser interferometer space antenna. The word interferometer must click an idea. We all knew that LIGO, it came round and round in current affairs with respect to gravitational wave observatories. So, evolved laser interferometer space antenna project is also for detecting gravitational waves. The only difference is that it is a space based observatory, while the LIGO is a ground based observatory. ELISA is a space based observatory propounded by ESA, European Space Agency. The correct answer is B. For the first question, if tortoise is declared as a Schedule 1 animal, what does it imply? So, according to WPA 1972, there are 6 schedules. Schedule 1 and Part 2 of Schedule 2 provides the highest protection to fauna. So, according to this, when a species is included in Schedule 1, it enjoys the same protection as a tiger, being tiger is also a Schedule 1 species. A is the correct answer. It has nothing to do with no longer exists in the world. It speaks about extinction and it is endemic. Endemism has nothing to do with WPA 1972. The correct answer is A. Next question, 56. This is a question about Zika. The first statement, it says in tropical regions Zika is transmitted by the same mosquito. Now this is where the trickiness comes. They haven't said what is a mosquito. They said same mosquito that transmits dengue. The mosquito is Aedes aegypti. The first statement is absolutely right. It is the same Aedes aegypti which transmits dengue, Zika, yellow fever also. So the first statement is correct. And the second statement, so it usually spreads through biting of the mosquito. In addition to that, there is also clues, evidences that it also can be transmitted through blood-based products, plus sexual transmission is also considered to be possible. So second statement is also correct. Both 1 and 2 is the correct answer. 60th question, according to WPA, another question with respect to WPA 1972, which of the following animals cannot be hunted by any person? They are asking about Schedule 1, Part 2 of Schedule 2 animals. It is a long list. It will be unproductive if we provide all the animals included in the list. But yes, all the 3 are Schedule 1 animals. 1, 2 and 3 is the correct answer. 69th question, some terms have been given and related to what? Event horizon which makes the boundary, if this is a black hole where the gravity is enormous and infinite, that is a boundary called as event horizon. If we cross this boundary, there is no coming back. So the boundary that marks where the gravity becomes infinite is called as event horizon. Singularity, it speaks about a point in the black hole, where space, gravity and density becomes infinite. So singularity. String theory, this is the most recent theory in the modern physics, which is also called as theory of everything. It basically says that we say particles as particles, but according to this theory, particles are not particles but are strings. So it is what the crux of the string theory. which explains how the universe are made and how the universe functions. Standard model, which provides the classical explanation for how the universe is operating, what it is made up of, fundamental particles interacting with fundamental forces. So all this pertains to observation and understanding of the universe. A is the correct answer. 70th question. With reference to agriculture in India, how can the technique of genome sequencing? This is also not a question which is asked out of context. We all would have came across Human Genome Project right in the last year, but it was about a human genome project, but this is a question about genome sequencing and its application to agriculture. All the three are the applications. It can be used to identify genetic markers. We all know that genetic engineering can be used for improving characters such as disease resistance, drought resistance, pest resistance, higher nutritional content. First statement is correct. Earlier we were going for sorting of genes, gene sorting and phenotyping identification. So if we find a particular phenotype, we have to find what genes code for the phenotype, and it's a very long time consuming process. But rather than going for genes, when the attempt is made towards genome level, the time which is to be spent on such an R&D will be considerably reduced. Second is also correct. And third statement, it can be used to decipher the host pathogen relationship, which will help in making or bringing out disease resistant varieties. Third is also correct. 1, 2 and 3 is the correct answer. 81st question, traffic, trade related analysis of fauna and flora in commerce. Even the name itself gives us an idea what it might be doing. It was established in 1976 as a collaborative activity between IUCN and WWF. So the first statement is wrong, not by UNEP. The second statement says to ensure that trade in plants and animals does not pose a threat to its conservation, which is what the goal and the motto of the traffic. 2 only is the correct answer. First one is wrong. 89th question, in terms of bioremediation techniques. So what is a bioremediation? Bioremediation is a technique such that what is actually happening in the nature, we are trying to pump it up artificially. So what is naturally done by bacteria, fungus, we try to learn that and use it for our purposes. That is called as bioremediation technique. So it is a technique for cleaning up pollution by enhancing the same biodegradation process that occurs in nature. Yes, it's a correct statement. That's what bioremediation stands for. Bioremediation is not a cure for all diseases. It involves in bioremediation of heavy metals, but the efficiency of bioremediation of heavy metals is considerably lesser, and even for the matter, not all heavy metals can be done with the same procedure. Second statement is utterly wrong, and it says completely treated. So two things to trigger in us: any contaminant, it's a very gross generalistic statement, and completely treated. So because it is considered to be very generalistic, this is a wrong statement. And the third, genetic engineering. We came across many current affairs where new variants of bacteria, new bacterial strains are made to make the bioremediation possible. Even there is a bacteria called as Deinococcus radians, radiourans, which is the bacteria highly resistant to radioactivity, genetically engineered for bioremediating uranium contamination. So yes, genetic engineering can be used. Third is also correct statement. 1 and 3 is a correct answer. 96th question, in terms of butterflies, what will happen if the butterflies population falls down? This is a classic question about the role of a species in an ecosystem. It depends upon two things. In terms of niche, what is the niche of a species, and second, what is the food web of the species. So in terms of niche, pollination of some plants, it is it is not a great secret that butterflies is recognized as an important pollinator, and hence when the butterfly population comes down, pollination also will come down, will be affected. Yes, correct. Second statement, there could be a drastic increase in the fungal infections of some cultivated plants. Most often the fungal infections are pertain to the roots, most often, not always, and butterflies are pertain to the shoot regions of the stem, shoot regions of the plants, and hence there is no correlation, there is no organic link between butterflies and the roots. Second is wrong. And the third statement, it could lead to a fall in the population of some species of wasps, spiders and birds. Now this is in terms of food web. Butterflies is a prey to wasps, spiders, birds, lizards, frogs and even some snakes. So third statement is correct. 1 and 3 is the correct answer, second is wrong. 97th question, about algae based biofuels in terms of limitations. So what are the limitations that might occur? First, let's say briefly, algae based biofuels, it is cultivating oil rich algae which needs to be grown in aquatic ponds. The aquatic ponds, the best natural source is seawater. But the statement exactly says that it is possible only in seas but not in continents, but this statement is wrong. Algae based biofuels can be cultivated either in open ponds by suitably making land available for the purpose, and open seas, and photobioreactors. Photobioreactors. So the first statement is wrong. Only, impossible in seas only, wrong. Second statement and the third statement are correct, because algae based biofuel, to make it economically viable, the amount of investment, the amount of land required and the amount of water required, and the water will evaporate because it's an open pond, the water will also evaporate. The amount of water required, the amount of feed that should be given to these ponds, the input cost, as well as maintenance cost and disease maintenance. It is a very long profile required to maintain an algae based cultivation ponds into an economically viable proposition. So second statement, setting up and engineering the algae based biofuel, it requires a high level of expertise and technology, correct. That's one of the limitations. And also, if it needs economically viable, it needs setting up of large facilities, which needs ecological concerns in terms of requirement of land, in terms of requirement of water, in terms of requirement of skilled labor, and social concerns. Yes. So the answer is 2, 1, 3. The last question, 100th one, question about carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration is the artificial sinking of carbon into geological areas. Most often, the geological areas selected for carbon sequestration are usually not commercially usable, like abandoned mines, salt aquifers, mostly which is not commercially used as of now, will be selected for the carbon sequestration. So abandoned and uneconomic coal seams, yes. Depleted oil and gas reservoirs, yes. Subterranean deep saline formations, because all these three cannot be used. Now that's a logic we should keep. Carbon sequestration should be done only when a particular geological area is commercially unviable. All the three is the right answer. Thank you friends for watching this video. Please check out the key and jumpstart your preparation for the mains. All the best.